Hello, it's Valerie from the Hollywood Times. Hello, Carolina. I'm going to
Hi.
let you go ahead and introduce yourself because you can do it better than anybody.
Hi, I am Carolina Espiro. I am the writer director of the Avon Lady.
Yes, you are. And what a great, great film it is. A little short film, but I'm glad it was longer than it was. I wished it was even longer than it was, because it was just, I used Avon products and loved them. And the best part is that your mother was the star. And boy, was she a star.
Oh, and you know what? And the crazy thing is that we did not. I mean, I always knew she had something that she had, she was charming. I knew I was going to be able to work with her, but I don't think I ever could have imagined that it was going to turn out this well. She was just so trusting and so vulnerable. Sometimes it's really hard, because I'm also an actress. That's how I, pay the mortgage. But for I've been doing it for 20 years, and after you do it for so long, it's really hard to find that vulnerable place and just being yourself, because you're just inundated with all the training and all of the trying to be a chameleon. Just figuring out who you are is hard, but for my mom, that's all she knows how to be. So she just takes the note and she does it, and she just did it so beautifully.
Well, most people are going to say, because they don't know everything that I know, because I've seen the film, the people that are going to haven't seen the film and are curious, the title, they're going to say, well, why Avon? Because Avon, most people just think it's all passe.
It's true. I
So
had
why would you choose Avon? I know the answer, but
a
you go right ahead and tell
okay.
our viewers, our watchers, our readers, why did
Yeah.
you choose Avon?
Well, hopefully your watchers and readers are well, if I had a gentleman next to me during the award ceremony ask me what Avon was, and I had to explain to him. He was 20
Oh,
something.
really?
So I was like, oh, okay. Oh, that just aged me. But so for those of you who don't know, Avon is a cosmetic company. They do also do perfumes, and they do everything. And they're an international company. And back in the day, a lot of women became these door-to-door salesmen or salespeople selling Avon. One of them being my mother. So my mother, my father, and I were all from Chile. We came here when I was 2 years old, and but my mom studied she studied to be an entrepreneur in Chile. But no matter what you do, you come to the States, that doesn't carry over. You're just like any other immigrant. So she wanted to be financially independent. She didn't want to be a stay-at-home mom. She wanted to be an entrepreneur. So apparently a lot of women who are in the same position became Avon ladies. They went door to door selling products. And but the challenge that it never really hit me was what she didn't know any English at the time. So it was just an incredible just a story when she told me a long long time ago. Now the funny thing is when I came up with the idea, I had completely forgotten that she was an Avon lady. The reason why I became that idea came to me was because I wanted to write my first film, and I like was almost done with it, and it was going to involve this woman who became a hula dancer to find her passion, and then the pandemic hit, and I couldn't shoot any crowd scenes, show scenes, audience scenes, nothing. And my husband's like, "You're going to have to start over." And I'm like, "What? No, I just finally got the energy and the gumption to write a script, and now I got to start over." And he's like, "I'm sorry, babe, but you got it." And I'm like, "Well, what can I do? What can I do? What can I shoot in my house, in my neighborhood that's safe?" And I'm like, "I don't know, maybe a door-to-door salesman or something." I'm like, ooh, wouldn't it be funny? What if I put my mom, but she's the door-to-door and then it started like blowing up. And then I went up to my mom and I was like, "I have this great idea. I'm going to write this little short that we can shoot right here. And you're going to be like an Avon lady." She's like, "Oh, that's so great, because that's what I did." And I'm like, Oh my God, you're right. I can't believe it. So that started a whole conversation on some of her experiences. I got to learn about other experiences that other women had, that just, I didn't realize how common it was for immigrant women to that was their first job, and what a huge impact it was on them and becoming independent. And so the story of my script is kind of like an amalgamation of all of these stories. Like, there was an actual Avon lady in the UK that got chased by a dog, but was actually bit. So I just kind of, inspired by my mom's story and other stories, I created this short comedic film. I always wanted it to be a comedy, because there are wonderful films out there, immigrant films, but they tend to be more serious and more dramatic, as they should be. But Chileans, we're funny. We make jokes. Even in a funeral, we will crack a joke, because that's how we process our struggles. We process it with humor. And I wanted this to be a comedy because it reflects who we are and how we handle that. So that's how that came about.
The Los Angeles Shorts Film Festival, and it was just, I finally got to see your film, and oh my God, just cracking up. So everybody that, I'm going to be promoting this film until, like, forever, until it gets sold and gets on television and all that stuff, streaming. How is all that going for you?
Well, again, this is my first time doing anything like this. The whole point to make this film was for it to be a calling card as a director, because I am a first time director. And so I'm learning as I go. I didn't expect it to have, I always knew we had a good story, because since I was a first time film director, I wanted to surround myself with professionals. So I had an excellent DP, Sophie Brusa, who's brilliant. She's going to be doing amazing things one day. My producer, Katie Ware, she's incredible. I'm surrounded by great people. But still, I just didn't think my first time around it would have this type of success. So I thought that, okay, I'm going to use this to convince people that I can direct, and then I'm going to write a feature and do all of these things. But now I am getting people coming up to me saying, have you thought about making this a feature? This should be a feature. Have you thought about making this a television series? And I was like, oh, now I am. Okay. I mean, which it could be, because I've had to really pare the story down to make it fit into that sweet spot that festivals like, right? But it's just, there's so many levels it can go. There's a whole backstory of how she became that way, and all of it. There's a multitude of personalities that she's met. So it definitely has the potential to go full if I were to go that route. But really, it all boils down to money. It all boils down to, if someone out there wants to be like, here's some money, make me a film, I'll be like, okay. So that's basically it. But the next goal right now is to try to get the word out, continue on our festival run, and hopefully have somebody from Avon to go see it. I'm trying to get them to come see it. I got a hold of a publicist from Avon, who, she's excited about it. She's in New York, so I don't think she's gonna be able to come out. But we're in talks, and I sent her a link, so we'll see what she says. But it would be a great thing to have a collaboration with them, considering that it was because of that company that so many people have had that opportunity.
It reminds me, there's not been any other films or things about Avon except for Edward Scissorhands.
Right. I forgot about that one. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah, so now you remember Diane Wiest, and
Right.
I
Oh,
love it. So it makes me want to see it again, just to refresh my memory of
so
Avon. So cute. And your mom had the little Avon bag, and I have one of those because I used to sell Avon. So, and your mom's sold Avon, so
Uh-huh.
she's had that. My bag is black. Hers was pink, right, in the movie?
Oh, no, all of that was props, actually. No, because when she was an Avon lady, she was 26. So this was, well, I don't know. Let's see, she's 70 now, 71. So this was years ago. So she does not have any of that yet anymore. No, what I found those items from an Avon representative, and it came with all of those samples and everything. So I was just so lucky to be able to find this lot of items that I could use in the film. It was perfect. And I found this little Avon pin on Poshmark, I think, or Etsy. There's so many products still out there that I guess Avon representatives just kind of like resell to each other, so they can continue their work. I mean, up until this film, working on this film, I didn't even realize that they were still out there. But they're mainly on Instagram.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, because I was going to ask you, what are you thinking about next? But you already answered that. And so I got to hurry up and write this story and help you find some money and get this out, because it was just so fun. The audience that day was just in that theater was just cracking up.
Great audience.
So I just commend you for your writing and just your creativity and getting this together. And your mom is just so sweet. So how can we find you? How can our audience, our viewers, find you and more about the film?
Absolutely. Well, you can go to my website, which is basically myname.com. So carolinaespiro.com. On there, you can see, all of my work as an actor, as a director, and there's a page specifically for the Avon Lady where I list all of the events coming up. Next, we have the Burbank Film Festival, which is September 21st at 7 p.m. Is when we will screen. And also Holly Shorts does a monthly screening type thing, and they will be screening our film at the Chinese theater. What month, I'm not sure. And then we have about, I don't know, 10 festivals we're waiting for notifications. So cross fingers. I've got family all across the country, including in Chile, going, when can we see it? And I'm like, I don't know, tell your local festivals to come, select us for their thing. But yeah, you can find all of that there. You can also follow the Avon Lady film on Instagram, Facebook. It's the same handle, the Avon Lady film. And if you want to specifically follow the project.
Love it. Well, good. Well, we're gonna do it. We're gonna be following you, and we're the Hollywood Times officials, our YouTube, and the Hollywood Times today. So thank you, Carolina. And I know we're gonna be seeing more of you because I will be at those film festivals. So we're gonna have to continue our relationship.
Absolutely. I would love that. I would love that.
Great. Thanks so much again for all your time and your friendship and your creativity. Okay. Thanks. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
All right. Bye, sweetheart.
Bye-bye.